when it comes to creating success in this industry, we're going to talk about onboarding and launching new teammates and creating duplication through your business, and all that stuff really matters. But the reality is you're probably not going to do it if you're not thinking about the differences that you want to make in your life, not just in the short term, but in the long term as well. And of course, your long-term success, your long-term results are going to be the result of climbing the ladder of short-term goals, one after the other after the other. I want you to think about jumping across a river, one rock at a time to get to the other side, climbing a mountain. You think about Mount Everest, right? Climbing a mountain, going from one base camp to the next, climatizing, allowing your body and your brain to get used to being at that elevation before you can advance to the next level. That's what this looks like over the course of the long haul. What's going to keep you in the game long enough to get to the peak, right? It all starts with your purpose, your why, your dreams, your vision. What do you want your life to look like? Everything in my life changed when I finally got to the point where I took complete and total ownership of where I was in my life and the results that I had or had not created. Now, we had 6 figures in debt. My wife and I had been married for 2 years. We'd only been geographically in the same location for 5 months because I was always training or deployed. I knew that I was gonna never see my kids when they were growing up. I was gonna miss baseball games, miss dance recitals. I had to look in the mirror and I had to realize that it was the decisions that I had made in my life that got me to where I was. But if I started learning new skills and applying them consistently and making different decisions moving forward, I could start creating different results, right? So it all starts with us. We are the variable. But regardless of who you are right now, and regardless of where you are right now, I have great news for you. Number one, everything in your business is going to be the result of your level of leadership and personal development. But what's beautiful is we all start at what we like to call the foundation, and you can build and improve and grow over time. There's different people who get started in the network marketing space. Maybe you see these people who, they join your company and boom, they're like they're at the top rank in 15 minutes. And it's like, what in the world? There's a person who recently joined our company, I think it was last year, and in her first month, she recruited, 250 to 300 new people. And I'm thinking to myself, what in the world is she doing that I'm not? But the reality is she had done a different amount of work on herself, growing a network in her business. She'd had a ton of previous success in the network marketing space prior to launching where we are. And so, of course, she created a different result, right? And so we all show up to the foundation of our business, to the foundation of our success with a different level of influence, a different size network, a different level of personal growth and leadership development, but we can grow that over time. And then the second thing I want you to remember is everything that you hear from John and Nadya on this channel, everything that you hear from any successful leader in the network marketing space, you're going to hear all about the development of your skills, right? So there's 2 things that you can develop: your mindset, which is your leadership, your personal development, your personal growth, your grit, your determination, your perseverance, and then your skill set. And we're going to talk about both of those things today. I just want to encourage you guys to understand that there's no such thing as easy success. If it's easy, it's sleazy. But you also don't have to sacrifice everything in your life to create success in our industry either. There is a middle ground. And what we're going to talk about today is going to give you guys the ability to start to focus on leveraging systems, creating simple duplication, and building a business that can give you the ability to have an amazing lifestyle instead of having to, constantly be working your lifestyle around your business because it dictates everything that you do. Can I get an amen? Bullet point number 1, it all starts with you, right? It all starts with you. And it doesn't just start with you as a person. It starts with what your goal is. And when you think about the company that you're in, now I know there's a lot of different companies represented. There's a really good chance that in order for you to get to where you want to be, to create that residual or, leveraged income, eventually passive income, you're going to have to help other people create success, right? So my encouragement to start out, what I did when I very first got started in my first company, there was a rank that paid $81,000 a year on average. Now, I know we can't make income claims. I'm not going to tell you that if you do these things, you're going to make a certain amount of money. That's up to you. And success takes time, but we don't know how much time, right? So my encouragement is do it until you create the results that you're after. Just do it until. Look at that rank. So there was a rank in that first company that paid $81,000 a year. While I was making about 40 grand a year in the Army, my wife was making about 30 grand a year in corporate America. So we looked at that rank and we thought, man, if we could just get to that rank, we could buy back some time from these, traditional careers that we're pursuing right now. We could fire our bosses, right? And so then what we had to do is we couldn't just look at the rank and just go work and not have any direction or strategy or understanding, we had to break down that rank. So I want to encourage you, select the rank that you're going for long term. That's going to be the game changer for you, and then dissect it. What are the requirements? And if you don't know what the requirements are, it's important for you to figure that out. And if you struggle with numbers, or if you feel like that's not necessarily a strength for you, then number one, I want to encourage you to at least learn the basics, right? At least learn the basics of your compensation plan / rank structure, so you kind of know what you're aiming for. Well, we're on here today to talk about onboarding and launching people, but if you don't have a target, you don't even have the ability to be aiming your activity towards anything of significance. We need to know what it is that we need to do to get to where we're going. And here's the thing is, if you're just following a road, it's guaranteed to go somewhere, but very seldom are you going to stumble your way to where you want to be. So we have to begin with the end in mind, right? What is it that you're building? So now where we are today is a whole lot different than where we were then, but we're still looking at that next rank and we're thinking to ourselves, what's the breakdown, right? What is it that we have to help other people achieve? And this is the very first thing that I want you guys to write down as we're thinking about onboarding and launching people and creating duplication. Jim Rohn said, everything that you want is on the other side of helping a bunch of other people get what they want. If we can just, if we can focus on serving people on our team, helping them create success, we're going to create our success by default in the process. If you're, enrolling people, onboarding and launching, that's amazing. Congratulations. But if your team is doing that as well, that's when you experience multiplication in your business, and you're going to experience multiplication in your paycheck. All right. I want to encourage you guys, if you're struggling with setting goals, you got to start dreaming bigger and you got to start believing in yourself. Look, here's the thing. God didn't create the amazing things in this world just for some people. And that dream that was put in your heart, it was put there for a reason, and it's your responsibility to pursue it. And so we have to make the most of the one chance that we get on this life. If you want to live in a beach house, pursue it. If you want to drive an exotic sports car, pursue it. If you want to be able to retire your parents or buy them a vehicle or a home, pursue it. If you want to be able to, give away 6 figures a year, be the biggest tither in your church, give away to nonprofits, pursue it. You get one chance to walk the crust of this earth. All right. You get one chance. So you got to live it big and you got to live it bold. I want to encourage you to 1000% begin to believe at a size that makes you uncomfortable. If you're not squirming in your seat a little bit, when you think about what it is that you're after, you're wasting the one chance that you have walking the crust of this earth. All right. And then here's what's cool. You got to dream big. And if you can see it in your mind, if you can feel it in your heart, you can hold it in your hand. It's just a matter of becoming the person who can create those results along the way. You guys start enrolling some new people. Now, here's what happens a lot of times, especially for somebody who might have a little bit of a team built, maybe you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 people on your team, whatever it might be, right now. If you have a big goal, if you have a big dream, it's going to take a lot more people than that to get to where you want to go. Don't let that intimidate you. Just think about one person at a time, enrolling one new person at a time, launching one new person at a time, right? So, but here's the deal is we have to be focused on consistently enrolling and launching new teams each and every single month. My encouragement is to give yourself a quota. Now, here's the deal. So when it comes to network marketing, Ray Higdon says in his book, Time, Money, Freedom, you have to be the boss and the employee simultaneously. So you got to be the one to make yourself, you got to be the one to set the schedule. You got to be the one to show up to work. We're not going to talk about time management today, but you also have to be the one, the CEO, that sets the quota for the people in your sales organization, right? And you can only set the quota for yourself. You can't set the quota for your teammates. But what is your goal for the number of new people that you're going to enroll every single week, every single month? A great place to start if you're wanting to move quickly is enroll one new person a week. Enroll 3 to 4 new people a month. If you want to grow twice as fast, if you want to succeed twice as fast, double the number, right? If you're wondering how can I enroll more people? Well, in the beginning, you can make up for in numbers what you lack in skill. We have to be willing to put the law of large numbers to work. All right. It's massively important that we understand that. Now, when Amanda and I first got started in network marketing back in 2013, we developed a mindset around something that we just kind of coined the rule of 100. All right. And, I heard early on that, even the people who really need to work on their skill set and their influence and everything else, should be able to enroll 1 out of 10 people that they talk to. Right. So I know that if I go prospect 10 people, meaning I have conversations with 10 new people, then I should be able to enroll at least one. And if not, I can work on the skill set until I get to at least 1 out of 10, right? So if I'm enrolling 1 out of 10 people that I talk to, then here's the next thing that I need to keep in mind is 1 out of 10 people that join my team are probably going to do something of significance. All right. 1 out of 10 people that I talk, or 1 out of 10 people that I enroll on my team are probably going to do something of significance, meaning they're going to start getting customers, build a team, et cetera. Right. So if I want to add 10 new people to my team that are, excited and have at least one rock star, I need to go talk to 100 people as fast as I possibly can. Right? That's the law of large numbers. The rule of 100 will really help you with your mindset on that. What do we do with the people when we begin to enroll them? And that's the basis of our conversation today. Now, in our business, there's 2 sides to the compensation plan, 2 sides to our business structure. You got the promoter side, which is all about customers, customer acquisition, customer retention, getting customers. And there's people who are making incredible income just on the promoter side. But we're going to talk about the builder side today. We're talking about the builder side of the business today. So regardless of what company you're in, you probably got a product or a service that you can connect with a customer, right? That's the promoter side of the business in our case. Then you have the ability to build a team, to enroll other distributors, brand ambassadors, social marketers, whatever you call them in your world, in your neck of the woods. And we're going to talk about how to create better, faster results with those people. All right. So let's say that, I'm talking to, Sam about the business, and Sam is fired up and excited. So during the prospecting conversation process, the very first thing that I'm focused on is I'm focused on figuring out what's a win for Sam, right? I want to figure out, I want to get as soon as this person tells me, yes, I'm open to taking a look, right? Yes, I'm excited to learn more about how I can make money on social media. Yes, I'm excited about how I can leverage my smartphone to add an additional stream of income, whatever it might be, right? So as soon as Sam gives me a yes, the very first thing that I want to find out is what's a win for Sam. So I'm going to say something like, awesome, listen, I'm excited to get you connected with some information about the business. But before we get to that, how much extra income per month from this would get you excited? What would make a difference for you right now, right? I'm looking for a dollar amount. Why? Well, because the reality is information moves very few people into action. Opportunity moves very few people into action. So information and opportunity very seldom moves people into action, but emotion does. And do you know what the conversation around money and the ability to earn income? Now, we're not promising anything. We cannot make income claims. You don't want to hype it up. You don't want to make this sound like it's going to be easy, because again, easy is sleazy. For very few people are they going to be able to just post a couple things on social media and make it to the highest ranks. Unless they have extreme influence, maybe a lot of experience in the profession, a big following, a big network, all that stuff. But we want to be asking people, what is a win for you, right? Like how much extra money per month would get you excited? What would make a difference? And then here's the thing. Money usually won't move people into action either, but what the money does will. So we got to start doing a little bit more digging, right? We got to get a couple layers deep into what's going on in their life. And I don't, with a brand new person that I don't know extremely well, and at this point, we're not prospecting people in our warm market really anymore. It's all people that we're connecting with through social media and all that kind of stuff. But I do like to ask people, something along the lines of, awesome, well, hey, $1,000 a month, definitely confident. I don't tell people that you can make that here, right? Because that's an income claim. Be careful with your words. But what I do say is, listen, I'm definitely confident that can be earned here. There's people all across our company and even across our team that are making that much and way more, right? I'm just stating the facts. I'm sharing a story. And then I ask them, I say, but listen, just so that, because we're going to be partners and I'm going to be invested in helping you get to that level of success, tell me this. Like if you're making $1,000 extra next month, or if you make $1,000 this month, and you said that's your goal, why does that matter? Like what difference does that make, right? So do a little bit more digging. Because here's the thing is there's probably going to be things that come out in the conversation like I wouldn't have to be so stressed out about paying my bills, or I would actually be able to say yes to my kids more, or I wouldn't have to stress every month about whether or not I'm going to be able to pay my rent and my car payment. Or for my wife and I could finally get to the point at the end of the month where I'm not having to choose between gas and groceries and what's going to go on the credit card, right? So get to the bottom of it is what I like to say, right? And really connect with these people. All right, so once you know their goal, once they're enrolled on your team, there's a couple specific steps. And guys, listen, I'm going to get a little bit detailed. So we've done a little inspiration, we've done a little bit of mindset elevation, right? We've done a little bit of, talking about the things that are going to stimulate us and move us into action. But now we're going to get into some actual technical speak. All right. We're going to start talking about the tactical things that you can apply when you get this new person started so that you can help them get better, faster results in their business. If you don't have some sort of an onboarding and business launch process already built, that's where you got to start. All right. So if, in our first company, for example, it was torturous because every single time a new person joined our team, I was the one sitting down with them, and we did this training called a PALS training. And, hearing that the acronym PALS is like nails on a chalkboard. It was, I had to help them define their purpose, and I had to help them figure out how to get to advisor. And that was like the pinnacle position where they could make the most money and max out the comp plan. And we had to do the L, which was make a list. And then I had to teach them the S, which was the success system. And guys, I spent probably at least an hour with every single person who joined my team. And sometimes there was 100, 200 people that would join our team in a month. That was a lot of time that I invested. And here's the thing is you don't know who's going to do what when they actually join and launch their business. So that was a lot of time investment with no guarantee return on that investment. And so you've got to leverage systems, right? It's massively important. If we have a business that is us dependent, if you have a business that is you dependent, then you don't have a business, you got a full-time job, right? You got to have a business that's systems dependent. You can leverage the systems to do the talking and the training for you while you're focused on the main, most important thing, which is your personal activity, your income producing activities, right? So when I get my new person started, I've figured out what their goals are. I'm going to get them added to our team Facebook chat. If you're not leveraging Facebook Messenger or some sort of a communication tool where you got all your people together, I highly encourage that. One of the number one reasons why people say that they fail or quit in network marketing is they say that they feel like they're not connected to something bigger than themselves. So if you're just trying to lead all your people one-on-one, I would highly encourage, if your upline leader doesn't have some sort of a platform in Facebook Messenger or GroupMe or something where you can get all of your people in there and they can be in community with one another and support each other and cheer each other on and, shout each other out and answer each other's questions and all that stuff. That is huge for building culture. All right. So I get them in our team chat. I let them know that our team chat is for encouragement, communication. We're going to put out any important information in there, but we really just like to have a lot of fun, right? That's also not just for business. It's also for fun. We do GIF dance parties and I drop dad jokes in there all the time. My team knows all about my dad jokes. And then I let them know, I'm also going to add you to a couple team Facebook groups, right? So I personally have my own team Facebook group. That's where our onboarding and launch stuff is, simplified version. And then we have our upline's Facebook group as well. And my upline just happens to be our direct sponsor, John Melton. We have the privilege and the honor of being partnered with them in the company that we're in and the business that we're with. And so I want them to be in there as well, right? Why do I want them to be in my upline's Facebook group? They got to see the bigger picture, baby, right? It's so massively important for them to see people outside of our organization winning, succeeding. It's important for them to develop cross-line relationships, right? I don't want to have a scarcity mindset and think to myself, oh, I don't want my team learning from anybody else besides me. That potentially robs the people in my organization from golden nuggets that could help them grow bigger faster, right? So I want them in there as well. But I let people know we're going to start out in our team Facebook group. That's where the onboarding and the launch steps are that we're going to go through in the very beginning. And I want you to be in this other Facebook group as well for all of the incredible information, training, and resources that happens in there too. So excited to get to that stuff a little bit later, right? So the very first thing that I do when I get somebody in the team chat is I welcome them. Guys, you want to create a culture where when you're welcoming new people to your team, there's all kinds of other people on your team and in your organization that are welcoming them too, right? That is incredible culture. People need to feel like they're joining a family, right? People need to feel like they're joining a sports organization, not like they're just, in this new thing that's extremely awkward and uncomfortable. So train your team up. Listen, when we enroll new people, when somebody new, when you see a welcome flyer pop into the team chat and the team page, let's all comment. Let's make that new person feel like $1 million, right? That creates a win and personal momentum for that new social marketer, right? Or that new distributor on your team. So we want to make sure that they're welcomed. And I keep it extremely, extremely simple with my brand new person. Now listen, whenever I'm enrolling somebody new and I'm getting ready to walk through the onboarding and the launch process, I have 3 things that I keep in mind. with every single one of them. I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it fun. And I want to do everything that I possibly can to completely avoid, or at least, partially avoid overwhelm. Sometimes people are going to get overwhelmed because they're going to get so focused on the information and they're not going to be focused enough on the action. But I want to do everything that I can to keep it simple, keep it fun, avoid overwhelm, right? So Ed Milet says complexity is the enemy of execution. If your onboarding and launch strategy is a 7-page document, they have to watch 4 hours of training, there's all types of crazy hoops that they have to jump through before they can launch their business and start getting some customers and making some money, that's no bueno, right? We want to keep it simple, right? Making it simple, borderline easy for your team. I don't want my new person to have to learn 1,000 new things and have to take 7 tests before they're allowed to go and start getting customers and enrolling new teammates, et cetera, right? And then what I do is I tell people, hey, start with this welcome video, work through guides 1 and 2, and then this is a huge nugget right here that really helps us get people through the getting started process, watching the welcome video, making it a priority to get in and look at the first couple of guides, looking at the information, is I always have them focus on what's in it for them once they get done, right? It's always about what's going to happen after you get in here and you take this first step that I've kind of directed you to take. So I always let people know, hey, start with the welcome video, work through guides 1 and 2, and as soon as you're done, I'm going to walk you through your very first Facebook post that we're going to put up. We're going to walk through these steps together after you learn them from the videos, and we're going to start working towards generating some leads and getting you your first few customers. Can't wait to help you earn that first commission, right? Something like that. So now they're fired up and excited about getting in there, about watching the video, about working through the information. It's important to have resources and tools in place, right? Like I love that there's a welcome video. I don't have to be the one to, for 4 minutes, welcome somebody every single time. I don't have to be the one to go through the simple onboarding and launch steps with every single brand new person. But here's the thing is, always remember this, okay? The resources are awesome. There is 1% of the top 1% of people who join your team that will do this without you, okay? There is 1% of 1% of people that will do this without you. For most people, in the absence of leadership, most people do nothing. So it's massively, incredibly important that yes, we let the resources do the teaching, but we do the mentoring. We do the guiding, right? So you're not doing it for them. You're not the one who's going to teach them every single little detail, but you are the one that's going to guide them through the steps, right? You want to be the one that's, kind of calling the shots and directing people from one step to the next to the next. You want to be an involved leader. It's not your job to do it for them, but you will massively increase the results that you get when you're helping people launch their business if you partner and do it with them. When I'm first onboarding and launching somebody, and really all the way through for as long as they want to build this business, they know that we have a partnership. They know that I'm available. They know that they're not bothering me. They know that I'm going to be there. Now, there are specific times where somebody needs to be resourceful, right? But here's the thing too. When you have this brand new person join your team, the reality is you don't know whether or not they're going to be the person that sticks around and does this for the long haul. You don't know whether or not this is going to be the person that builds it to a high level. And I want to encourage you to start looking at people and thinking to yourself, I'm not just going to build this to them. Like, I'm not just going to work with this person. I'm not just going to talk to this person. I'm going to build this through them, right? Because remember back to what we first talked about when you first got started, your dream goal, your dream rank that's associated to your dream income that will produce your dream lifestyle requires you to not build your team. So, in order for you to get to where you want to be in your business, you're not just building your team. You're not just building your front line. You're building teams within your team. And when you can start taking your leadership, your influence, your experience, your energy, your excitement deeper into your organization than just level 1, that's when explosion and duplication starts to happen. And we're going to talk about taprooting here in just a second. Simplicity when we're onboarding. So what are we focused on? Well, we're just taking it one step at a time. When Sam gets into my guides, he's going to watch a 3 to 4 minute onboarding video. He's going to learn what apps to download. We got to keep it simple for Sam, right? So Sam is going to work through what guides, what apps does Sam need to download? What Facebook groups does she need to be in? How does she set up her pay? All that kind of basic admin stuff, right? And then in guide 2, in our Facebook group, it's the simple launch steps, right? There's a quick training on how to leverage the ATM system. If you're not familiar with the ATM system, we don't just teach people how to launch their business. We also teach people how to expose their qualified leads, people who want information on the products or the opportunity, to the actual information without them having to do all the talking, right? So ATM stands for add, tag, message. And so there's a video in there that teaches Sam the ATM system. So she can watch that video and she can learn exactly how to ATM her face off when she has people who want more information, right? Sam is going to learn the basic launch steps. The very first thing that we have somebody do is an OMG, I did a thing post. This pre-launch post is just designed to get their network watching them, right? We want to start increasing visibility, increasing engagement, creating some curiosity, maybe some anticipation, maybe getting some people reaching out to Sam, creating this anticipation and this energy so that there's more visibility through the rest of the launch steps, all right? The very next thing that we have people do is their very first curiosity product post. It's in our business, in our system, it's called the spoon post. We have somebody put up a really simple, non-salesy, non-spammy curiosity post. By the way, we teach all of our people to focus on curiosity marketing, meaning they don't say the name of the company. They don't show the name of the label. Why? Because the average person that doesn't have a ton of influence with their network or a ton of leverage with the people they're connected with, if they're not focused on curiosity marketing, then the people, they don't necessarily care whether or not they get the products from them or from the website or from Google or Amazon or whatever. So we teach people to focus on curiosity marketing because for the average person, that's going to generate more leads for them versus generating leads for Google or the company website. And I'm walking people through before they ever put the post up. I'm letting them know, what the potential is that could happen and how to handle it, right? I don't want to be in crisis management mode dealing with people who don't know what to do. And if you're launching multiple people at the same time, you want people to be empowered. You want them to know what to do before they take the step. So before we put up that spoon post, that first curiosity post, I'm going to kind of walk them through, what happens if somebody asks for information, right? And I know we're getting technical. We're getting in the weeds here with a lot of details. This stuff matters, right? So what I'm doing is, number one, I'm not setting up false expectations. I'm not telling them, hey, you're going to put this post up. It's going to blow up. I can't wait to help you go straight to the top. OMG, let's do this thing. Post this, get rich, right? But instead, I'm saying, hey, listen, we're going to put up this first curiosity post. If you get a ton of traction, awesome. If you don't get a ton of traction, awesome. This is like a litmus test just to gauge the responsiveness of your current social media network. Doesn't determine whether or not you're going to be successful long term. This is just the next step in the process. Why do I do that? I don't want that person to have false expectations. I don't want them to become upset if they don't rank up right away. Right? I don't want them to become upset if they're not making a comma check in their first 24 hours, right? I want this person to be in it for the long haul. So it's massively important to make sure that people have realistic expectations of what may or may not happen. So I let people know if it blows up, awesome. If we don't get a lot of responsiveness, don't worry about it. We're just going to move through the rest of the steps. Long term, we're going to build an incredible business together. I can't wait to help you crush your goals, right? Whatever happens in the launch phase, awesome. But your business really starts when the launch phase ends. Right? That's the mindset I want people to be in. So we put up that post. Now we leverage the ATM system again. Maybe your company uses videos or whatever. Highly encourage the ATM system. I know John and Nadya have an ATM Academy. But what we want to do is I want to let that person know, if and when somebody asks for information, I'm going to walk you through with your first couple of people, and we're going to bring the ATM system to life. Remember, in the absence of leadership, most people don't know what to do, right? And when it comes to confidence, which confidence is what's going to keep people taking action, a lot of times that has to start with competence. And I'm not just going to tell somebody what to do, I'm going to partner with them, right? And so in the beginning, we're doing it together, but if I can invest a little bit of time into teaching these people, this new person, how to leverage the ATM system, how to take that lead, jump in a messenger conversation, find out their goals, right? Get them plugged into the groups, get them tagged in the right resources, have a dialogue, all the way to the end. And I can coach them up on how to close their first couple of sales. I now have a person that can make infinite sales with or without me, right? So it's a short upfront investment. I hear people all the time that talk about wanting to automate training with their team and wanting to have a business that runs on autopilot. And I get it. I want time freedom just as much as the next person. But if you are not connected with other human beings, God can't use you for the reasons that he created you. You have got to be connected to the people in your organization to encourage, to inspire, to drive the action, to bring the energy, right? To influence those people to do things that they probably wouldn't do outside of your charge. Massively, massively important for you to be involved in the process, right? Invest some time up front, and you can build somebody that can do this with or without you. That is true time freedom. That is true leveraged residual income. And here's the thing, teach the leaders on your team to do the same. Now, as I'm helping people work through the launch steps, I'm also progressively working them through learning some of the additional skills and techniques that we leverage to get more customers and to enroll more social marketers. All right, so this is kind of what it looks like for me. Look, here's the thing. Leadership is an art, not a science. There is no ABC, XYZ. You have to be able to put yourself in a situation, and different people do things differently. You know, some people, when I plug them into the groups, I get them in the welcome post and I say, hey, check out guides 1 and 2. Can't wait till you work through this stuff. As soon as you're done, we're going to be able to launch your business. Can't wait to help you make your first commission check. Can't wait to help you start working towards that first rank advancement. Can't wait to help you start getting to where you want to be from a financial perspective. You know, some people, it's 30 minutes later, they're back in my inbox. All right, what do I do next? I watch the information, right? And some people, it takes a day, 2 days, a week, right? I'm not there to ride people. I'm there to work with the people that want to run, that want to go. One thing that I will do is, and John did this with me, and it blew my mind when he did this. It was wild for me and Amanda both, because we had some support in our previous company, but we didn't have people who were like always there, right? Who are looking and just constantly investing in us and partnering with us and helping us grow our business, right? When I get somebody in the guides, you know, I have what I call the next day rule. So if I was to tag somebody in the welcome post today, right now, if I don't hear back from them by tonight, I'm not in their inbox tonight. I'm not riding that person. They have kids, they got a job, they got a life, they've got other things going on, and they're an adult, right? I'm not a babysitter, but I am in their inbox as soon as I wake up the next morning. I don't care if I wake up at 5:45. One of the first things that I do, yes, before I do my personal development, is I'm popping in their inbox and I'm saying, hey, Sam, hope you're having an awesome day. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning. Today's going to be a great day. Just wanted to pop in here and see how the getting started information is coming along, right? John did that to me and Amanda less than 24 hours when we enrolled in his organization, and we knew that he had our back. We knew that that was a leader that was in this with us. They didn't just want to sign us up and hope that we go and get them rich. They are here to help us succeed, right? So show your people, prove to them that you care about their success. Check back in, right? Now, if somebody hasn't had a chance to look at the guides, I say, awesome. That's great. No worries at all. I know life is busy. Let's do our best to take a look at that stuff today. Can't wait to help you launch your business, right? And then we're on to the next person. I'm not camping out with that person that's taken a while to get into the guides and look at the information. And, you know, one of the things that I love about this way of onboarding, leveraging guides, leveraging resources that are already pre-crafted, is I can kind of use them as a filter to see who's hungry. Like, who gets in there right away? Now, there are sometimes hungry people. It just takes them a while because they're really busy, or they got a lot going on, or they have an analytical mindset or whatever, right? That's okay. But you can tell pretty quickly, you know, within a few days or a week, who's hungry, who's excited, who really wants to do this thing, and who's just making a bunch of excuses as to why they don't have any time or why they haven't looked at it yet or whatever, right? That lets me know, who am I going to be really investing my time in, right? Because I'm investing my time in the people who are investing their time into this business and investing their energy into this business, right? And so as the launch phase is starting to come to a close, I'm making sure that people understand how to be consistent with their social media content, right? We teach people this really simple formula, the 15-7 formula. You post 15 times in a 7-day period. 10 of them are non-related at all to your products or business. They're going to be following the 4 E's. They're going to educate your audience. They're going to encourage your audience. They're going to entertain your audience. They're going to be to engage with your audience, right? So 10 of those are following the 4 E's. 4 of them are going to be curiosity posts about the products or the business with no call to action, a soft curiosity post. And then 1 of them is going to be a curiosity post with a call to action, a hard curiosity post. All right, so teach them that. Once they're good with their social media content, also want them posting 5 to 10 story slides a day, right? And we can kind of intermingle following the 80-20 rule, 80%, non-business, non-product, 20% creating curiosity about the business or the product, highlighting testimonies, maybe doing a story sequence about some of their favorite products, taking their products on little 15-second video clips in their stories, etc. Right? So I want to get them consistent with their posting on their wall and in their stories following that 15-7 formula, and then 5 to 10 story slides a day. All right, following the 80-20 rule. Now, once we've got our hands on that, and once the person is confident in that, I'm not going to teach them a bunch of stuff at the same time. Then we're going to move on. Now, again, they're being consistent with their social media content. They work through the launch phase. Then we're going to get to referral posts. Now, here's the deal. We have a video in our guides that teaches people the 15-7 formula. I'm not teaching people that, right? We have a video in our guides that teaches people referral posts. If you don't know what referral posts are yet, essentially, it's getting with customers, supportive friends and family members, maybe leveraging some giveaways on your Facebook wall to get people to host a non-salesy, non-spammy post for you or for your teammate, creating curiosity around one of your top products. All right. So imagine getting a bunch of curiosity posts up on a bunch of other people's Facebook walls, right? Well, we have a training video that teaches them how to do that. The last thing that we're going to teach them how to do on the customer acquisition side or the lead generating side for the customer side of the business is short video. That's going to be TikTok and Reels, right? So that's how we progressively teach people these skills. Well, why are we progressively teaching these things? Because my job is to keep it simple. My job is to keep it fun. My job is to avoid overwhelm, right? And so if we're working them through the launch phase, progressively teaching them some things, we're involved as leaders. In the absence of leadership, most people do nothing. We're walking through the steps. We're the guide, not the ride. Our goal is to work through them, not to them, right? So, but if we're doing all that and then we're progressively teaching people these skills, it's going to be simple, it's going to be fun, and they're not going to get overwhelmed. The last thing is teaching them how to recruit. Now, I'm talking about this last, but this isn't what I teach last. I teach people how to start talking to people about the opportunity very early on. Because again, my goal is to work through people, not to people, right? So when I first get somebody started, I'm focused on helping them land their first couple customers, earning their first couple of commissions. Why? Well, number one, most people in the network marketing space are going to be a whole lot more comfortable sharing a product and getting customers than talking to people about a business, especially if they haven't made any money yet. So I want to go prove the concept with them. I want to go help them get a couple customers. I want to go help them, see their commissions building in, we have what's called daily pay. People in our company get paid twice a day, every day, but maybe your people can look at their volume. They can look to see what their commission is going to be, whatever, right? You can walk them through, oh my gosh, you just got your first customer. Here's what you earned on that. Congratulations. Can't wait for you to get your check, whatever, right? So somebody who's proving the concept, who's in action, they've got more personal momentum. If they've made money, they're going to be a lot more excited talking to people about the opportunity. And here's how I have that conversation. I'll say something really simple like, hey, listen, I'm so proud of you. You're blowing it up. You're crushing the customer side. 3 customers already in your first week. That is phenomenal. Congratulations. Totally curious and no pressure. I know some people just want to share the products, but some people also want to build teams. Now, guys, listen, this is the average person, right? If you've got a rock star, they were a leader in a previous company, awesome. I'm talking about the average person that joins your team. Little to no experience, little to no confidence. Right? I once heard you can become a legend in this industry if you can help the average person produce above average results, right? It's not just about getting lucky and trying to go recruit every network marketing leader from every network marketing company so they can be in your downline, right? We have to get good at helping the average person produce above average results. With the average person, I'm saying, listen, are you also open to some really simple ways that we can start, talking to some people about the business? Because here's what's cool. You're making some great extra money on the promoter side, but man, if we want to build, life-changing income, residual income, leveraged income, consistent income, that's all about building a team. I would love to share with you some simple concepts that you can apply if that's something you want to start doing. And guess what they almost always say? Because they're thinking about leveraged income, more money, more success, right? Dependable income. They almost always say yes. And that's what I'm going to teach people how to prospect their customers, right? I'm going to say, look, you've gotten 3 people started. Here's what we need to do. Let's go back. And let's ask every single one of those people if they're also open to taking a look at how you're sharing this online and making some great extra money from your phone. If not, no big deal, right? I give them that simple little script. The last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is taprooting legs of business, all right? Because the reality is we're working through not to. So how do we do that? How do we start to build, the different people that we sponsor? How do we start to build those organizations 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 levels deep as quickly as we possibly can? Well, we take our influence, our leadership, our energy, our excitement, our experience deep into our organization. And so for me, that just looks like talking to Sam, helping Sam start having conversations with people about the business. By the way, we teach people to directly prospect too, not just talk to their customers. We're giving people scripts and walking people through a concept that we call connect, complement, ask. we're teaching them, that as well. If they want to build a team, we're teaching them how to prospect and how to connect with their ideal business partner and all that stuff. But when Sam starts to have those business conversations, I'm teaching Sam how to leverage group chats. So Sam talks to Billy. Billy's excited about the business. Sam ATMs Billy, gets him tagged in a video, pops him in a group chat with me, add tag message. With a business prospect, it's a group message, right? So Sam puts Billy in a group message with me. Now I can bring my leadership, influence, experience, charisma, abilities, etc., whatever you want to call it, into that conversation to get Billy started, right? And then when Sam enrolls Billy as a social marketer, I'm over here having a sidebar conversation with Sam going, Sam, oh my gosh, congratulations, you just enrolled your first social marketer. Let's work with Billy together to help Billy get started in the business and to launch so that we can help Billy get the best results possible, because the faster Billy grows, the faster you grow. Is it cool if we launch Billy together? What do you think Sam's gonna say? Abso-freaking-lutely, right? So now Sam and I are in this chat with Billy, and we're walking Billy through the onboarding and the launch process. I'm not overbearing. I'm letting Sam take the lead. I'm over here coaching Sam on what to do with Billy so that I can develop Sam as a leader, right? Your goal is to build these organizations, build these teams, and identify and build the leaders within them simultaneously. So I'm working with Sam to lead Billy, right? And as Billy's going through, Sam and I are coaching up Billy together. I'm bringing my leadership and influence deep into my organization. And then guess what we're doing with Billy? Same exact thing we've already talked about. Walking Billy through the onboarding and launch steps, getting Billy, launched in his business, helping Billy get some customers, then helping Billy prospect people, right? We're teaching Billy together, leveraging the resources and the tools, right? The tools do the teaching, we do the mentoring. Well, now Billy goes and sponsors Samantha. Samantha's fired up and excited. Let's say Samantha, 3 levels deep in this team, let's say that she's the go-getter, she's the fireball. She's the person that ends up building this to a 6-figure level. Well, if you never would have worked through Sam to find Billy, and then if you never would have partnered with Sam to work with Billy to launch his business to find Samantha, then you never would have built a massive organization through that team, right? And so it's all about working through, not to, tap rooting. My encouragement is get 5 to 10 levels deep in every team that you start as quickly as you possibly can. Look, here's the thing. Depth creates security in your business. I've seen so many people build it a mile wide and an inch deep over the course of the last 9.5 years, and the wind blows the wrong direction and their income is out the window, right? There's no depth and density and security in their organization. The deeper you build your business, if a couple people in between you and all these people deep in your organization quit or have life happen, or they get distracted, or they go through some sort of a sickness or a divorce, or they're on vacation or whatever, your business is going to be just fine. You know why? Because you've built it so big and you've built it so strong because you work through people, not to people, that it doesn't matter what's happening with any individual person because you've helped the collective, right? You've helped the collective. Now, the last thing is this. When it comes to, we talked about the importance of building the organization and looking and identifying the hungry lions, right? The leaders, the people who really want to do this at a higher level. When you find those people, connect with them. Doesn't matter if they're direct to you, 5 levels deep, 10 levels deep. Doesn't matter if it makes anybody in between you and them upset. Develop a relationship. Let them know that you're there to support them. Encourage them. Give them guidance and direction on what can help them create more success. Now, obviously, involve the people in between you and them. I'm not saying jump over everybody and don't let them know you're talking to people on their team. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is when you identify those people, those go-getters, those hard chargers, those 1%ers, when you identify those people, pour your heart and your soul and your life into helping those people become successful, and you're going to build a rock solid organization that never goes anywhere.